Department. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman.
bet.
Next, I'd like to recognize Ms. Gillen from New York for her 5 minutes. You're recognized.
Well, thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Ranking Member. And thank you, Director Jordan, for testifying here before us today. So I want to build a little bit on Chairman Babin's questions to you. I share his concerns about this just being another regulatory burden for companies to have to overcome. And you mentioned that the process is voluntary. What is the real incentive for companies to get this certification?
Thank you for the question, and that's a great one. That is at the core of why we did this. So there are gaps in regulations right now. Why we did this is because an industry, a company who has a novel mission can put a license into the federal government, either through us, FAA, FCC, and it's no guarantee that they'll get an answer. So what we're trying to do is to actually first get an answer, and that's step one for us. Step one is closing the regulatory gaps. Now, the second part of that is the voluntary nature. We want to provide incentive for companies to use this new system. And the incentive that we've come up with is if we can provide a streamlining of the different regulations where a company would put in one application to us, it could help satisfy portions of the FAA and the FCC's obligations for their own work. We do not see us as duplicating their efforts and do not want their statutory obligations, but we will work with them to help make the process way more streamlined so companies can get to yes.
So is there a role that we can play to make the process even more streamlined and more efficient?
Absolutely. So what we would love to do, assuming in the future that we have the approval to move forward with implementing this structure, we anticipate being able to work on some easy use cases first directly with companies, either through a tabletop exercise or directly with some novel missions that are closer and mature to becoming reality, and iterate with Congress, with the interagency, and with industry on what that looks like. And obviously, at the end of the road here, making it non-voluntary has its merits as well, and that takes congressional action. But we would love to get a few use cases under our belts to make sure the system we've created has no unintended consequences.
Okay, thank you. And as you're vetting the companies that are putting in for the certification, what kind of guardrails have you put in there to protect national security?
Absolutely. So through the interagency, we will have the Department of War and NASA, FAA, FCC, State Department, all with the core U.S. government equities, and that's in addition to national security. There are international obligations, space safety. We need their expertise to be able to have those conversations, ask the right questions with us. When there is a dispute over something through the interagency, we feel like we have built in a dispute resolution elevation process that we've modeled after our CRISRA license as well, our CRISRA work. So we feel like we will have the ability to seek resolution, but national security is extremely important, and the Department of War will absolutely be in the interagency process.
Okay, thank you so much. I yield back.